Gotta give Dano a round of applause. What a ledge. Gotta keep an eye on this man. He's gonna be doing big, big things in the future. But right now, after months of rumors and speculation, Microsoft has announced that Satya Nadella will be the company's new CEO. Now, Microsoft has confirmed the news on Tuesday afternoon that Nadella, a longtime executive at the company, would now be the top boss. And we have a sneak preview of his first interview as CEO of Microsoft.
Welcome to Microsoft Campus. My name's Steve Clayton, and today I have the opportunity to chat with Satya Nadella, our new CEO, to ask him some questions about his new role, about the challenges and the opportunities ahead for Microsoft. Satya, let me start by asking you, who is Satya Nadella? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 46 years old. I've been at Microsoft for 22 of those 46 years. I've been married for 22 years to a wife I've known ever since high school. We have 3 kids. Like anyone else, my experience and how I think is all been shaped, I guess, by my life's experience. And the one thing that I would say that defines me is I love to learn. I get excited about new things. I buy more books than I read or finish. I sign up for more online courses than I can actually finish. But the thing about being able to watch people do great things, learn new concepts, is something that truly excites me.
Now, CEO of Microsoft, tell us, why did you want this role?
It's a question I asked myself very deeply when the opportunity came up. And when I think about the core of why I'm here, it is about impact. And in a software-powered world, what's a better place than Microsoft?
Very, very exciting news in the tech world indeed. But the question now, what will happen to Microsoft? Where is it heading? And also, what will happen to Bill Gates? Is he stepping down? Is he out of the company? Well, to give you that info, we are hanging out with Stuart Thomas, senior reporter at memeburn.com. Stuart, welcome to Expresso. Nice to have you, man.
Thanks very much, guys. It's a great pleasure to be on the show.
And I mean, this is really exciting news, especially that, for people that's been following this whole process. But I mean, what does it mean exactly? Like I said, for Bill Gates, what's happening with him now? Is he still in a leadership role? Is he still part of the company? What's happening?
Okay, so what Bill Gates has done is he stepped down as chairperson and he's taking on a more kind of hands-on role within Microsoft. And I think that's actually a great thing because it means it allows Bill Gates to be what he is, which is a geek, and play around with technology. In his role as chairman and to a large extent in his later role as CEO, which he vacated in 2000, he was kind of in charge of business. And like when CEOs get in charge of business, they tend to forget their geeky roots a little bit and don't get to play around with technology as much as they'd like to.
I hear what you're saying, but I look at the whole picture, and I've been following Sama, but who is Satya? We look at the story and we kind of wonder, is this exciting for all the tech gurus out there? Apparently this guy has his head in the clouds. Who is he?
Okay, so, well, he literally has his head in the clouds. He's been Microsoft's head of cloud and enterprise, which is the kind of businessy side of Microsoft. Right. And it's also the side of Microsoft that's been making money over the past few years. So he's been kind of in charge of one of the more successful parts of Microsoft. He's still very much a geek though, so you can still do lots of the cool techie things. If his predecessor, Steve Ballmer, who retired last year, was very much a business guy. He was very much a salesperson with aggressive kind of personality. Nadella is much more of a traditional kind of Silicon Valley geek CEO.
And if you had to say, because Nadella, I mean, he doesn't really have any previous experience as a CEO, and now he's stepping into the position where he's going to be taking the reins on a company with 130,000 odd employees. Do you think he's up to the task, up to the challenge?
I definitely do. I've actually been punting for him for quite a while now. And I think his techie experience is actually more important than his CEO experience at this point. Because that's what Microsoft needs to go back to. It needs to go back to its kind of techie roots. It needs to understand what people love about technology. And who better than Nadella, who loves technology and is a very much kind of hands-on engineering kind of guy to get an understanding of what people really love about tech again.
It almost reminds me of a government, everyone's rooting for someone. Why do you think the public has such a keen interest in this? Why is it important for us who the CEO is? I mean, I thought, Bill Gates is stepping down. Wow, this is crazy news.
Okay, well, I mean, I think one of the reasons we care so much about CEOs is because of people like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, because their stories were a kind of human drama. And the other thing is that they built these companies up from the ground up into these kind of massive Goliath companies. And that's not something that's that visible in other industries. It's still happened within a lot of people's lifetimes that these companies have gone from nothing to huge multi-billion-dollar companies. And I mean, it's kind of stuck with us in the same way through Facebook and Google. And the other reason I think we care so much about who's CEO is because these are all things we use every day. Everybody uses their computer every day. When it comes to cell phones, everybody uses their cell phones every day. So we care who the guy in charge of the company making our cell phones are.
Indeed. I mean, you don't even need to be a techie to be excited about the news. But just lastly, in terms of the future for Microsoft, and especially for Microsoft users in South Africa, what do you think it means, the announcement of Nadella?
Okay, well, I mean, one of the most important things we need to know about Satya is that he was born in India and he actually travels there a lot. So that relates quite well for South Africa because he understands emerging markets and he understands what emerging markets need. And I think that's where Microsoft's probably going to be concentrating in the near future, especially following its acquisition of Nokia. Because Nokia lost a lot of ground in kind of developed countries, but in emerging markets it has the potential to kind of build on its feature phone base and kind of rock the smartphone market in those countries. And it's doing a fairly good job of that.
Exactly. We've seen that with the whole Lumia range operating on the Windows operating system.
Yeah.
Stuart, thank you so much for giving us some insights. I mean, this is really, really exciting. And I know that we are looking forward to the new developments in Microsoft. And just to quote here, Bill Gates said, during this time of transformation, there's no better person to lead Microsoft than Satya Nadella. So he is confident that he will do a stellar job in taking the reins at Microsoft. We're taking a very quick ad break. We'll be back after this.